Jamie Lynn Spears has effed up big time when it comes to her father, Jamie Spears, and Britney Spears is not happy. I've brought in It's Kim, our resident Britney expert, to break it all down. Hey up everyone, it's me, Steph the Alternate, your nerdy alternative, filling in for Andy whilst he's in hospital at the moment. The update I'm able to give you guys is that he is currently in the operation. It's happening as we speak, as I'm filming this video. However, Andy is the boss and he's telling me the show must go on. So we're cracking on indeed, and I'm bringing in my partner in crime, it's Kim. How are you doing today, hun?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you very much for jumping on because, yeah, this, after everything that the father has put these daughters through, I'm just not getting this whatsoever. So Jamie Lynn Spears has effed up big time, guys, when it comes to her father, Jamie Spears, and Britney is not impressed at all. So let's break this down. So Jamie Lynn has welcomed her father, Jamie Spears, back into her home. This is nuts with a capital N, and Britney, understandably, is reportedly furious at Jamie Lynn Spears for taking her father back in, despite what he had done to her during the 13-year conservatorship. And so Jamie Spears himself is not in great health at the moment. He's back living with Jamie Lynn at the newly built home in Louisiana after another failed stint in rehab for alcoholism. So he went to rehab for alcoholism, came out, and apparently, reportedly, is still drinking. Brilliant. And so Jamie, whose lengthy battle with booze was first detailed by his ex-wife, Lynne, in her 2008 book Through the Storm, which a lot of people would say belongs in the fiction aisle rather than the non-fiction aisle. He left rehab back in July after completing a 30-day program, but has since struggled to stay sober. And now he's been living in a guest house at Jamie Lynn's property at Hammond in Louisiana with her husband, Jamie Watson, and their daughters, Ivy, aged 5, and Maddie, aged 15, adding that his drinking has sparked serious concern amongst his family members. They say that Jamie just got out of rehab but is already drinking again, which worries Lynne and Jamie Lynn. Well, if it's worrying them both, why have they let him back in? Why has Jamie Lynn let him specifically back into her own home where her two daughters are? Now it gets even scarier, guys, because Jamie Lynn Spears, we all know, has recently had a stint on Dancing with the Stars, has been voted out. Get in, there's justice in the world. Thing is, though, Jamie Lynn was babysitting her children, babysitting Ivy, while Jamie Lynn competed on Dancing with the Stars with Lynne. According to the source, Jamie Lynn's decision to welcome her father into her home has done little to mend her already fractured relationship with her sister Britney, who they said is extremely bothered by the setup. They claim that this obviously infuriates Britney for so many reasons. She feels betrayed that her sister is putting up her dad and allowing him to watch her kids after what he did to her. She cannot believe that Jamie is caring for Jamie Lynn's daughters when he was partially to blame for Britney's falling out with her two sons. Now, when it comes down to it, do you feel that if this is the case, if this is true, what Britney is feeling and saying about this situation is actually warranted? What do you think, Kim?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think if this is a true report and she is upset about this, I think she has every right to be. Number of years ago, there was a restraining order put in place between Jamie Spears and her children because of an incident where Jamie Spears came at one of her sons. And I don't understand how when you know that you have someone, and I am sympathetic to the disease of addiction. I understand that completely. But when you know someone is not in a great place and you're putting them in charge of watching your children when you know that they have a history of putting kids in danger, It doesn't make any sense. So I completely understand why Britney would be concerned and upset.
Yup. And the fact of the matter is, even if you somehow take away the history between Jamie Spears and Britney Spears, the fact remains that this year he went into rehab for alcoholism. He got out after 30 days and is still drinking, to the point where the source is saying that Jamie Lynn Spears and, Lynne Spears are extremely concerned and worried. Well, again, if you're extremely concerned and worried, even after this failed rehab stint, reportedly, why would you then let someone like that look after your kids? They're extremely young.
Choice.
I mean, like Kim said, the children of Britney Spears had a restraining order against Jamie Spears. So I only shudder to think, and this is pure speculation here, let me keep it 100, but I only shudder to think, if he's alone in a room with other family members that are children, what could be happening? Do they need restraining orders? Because no disrespect, but once a monster, always a monster, as far as I'm concerned.
I think it's incredibly difficult, and it does seem that even regardless of the history of the restraining order, that Jamie doesn't seem to be in the best place. His health is not good. There is this that he's gone through the rehab treatment and has reportedly relapsed. I mean, there's a lot of issues here. There's a lot of issues here, and I completely understand why Britney would be upset and concerned.
And yeah, speaking of his health, yeah, it seems to be going downhill pretty quick. Britney Spears' father has recently been hospitalised with a bacterial infection, and now he is in an outpatient facility. There's not much information we know about this at present, but people have confirmed this, saying that the 71-year-old was severely ill and was hospitalised with the infection, but is now in an infectious disease outpatient facility and is on the mend. The New York Post, page 6, was the first to report that Jamie had been hospitalised, and a representative for Jamie did not immediately respond to people's request for comment. So this just adds further to the speculation and my thoughts that Jamie Spears, physically, mentally, health-wise, is, as far as I'm concerned, in no position whatsoever to be looking after children. Even if you take out the whole, restraining order with Britney Spears' kids, right? You want to take that out? Fine. You want to say that happened years ago? He could be a better person now with children? Fine. Okay, right? If you're going to say that, that's fair enough. But then look at everything else. He went into rehab for 30 days for alcoholism, come back out, reportedly has relapsed to the point where, again, reportedly, Lynne Spears and Jamie Lynn are concerned for him. Coupled with the fact that he's gone back into hospital with a bacterial infection, in terms of health-wise alone, I would take one look at that person and be like, well, if I had kids, you ain't looking after them. You're definitely not babysitter material. No freaking chance in hell. So we go back
concerning.
to, the main meat and potatoes of this, which is, Jamie Lynn Spears has totally effed up by letting her father, Jamie Spears, back into her home and back looking after her daughters. And with Britney Spears reportedly being miffed off about this, I'm not freaking surprised she's miffed off. And I would certainly say that Jamie Lynn Spears has effed up big time by letting her father back into her life in this way. Before we end this, really, Kim, final thoughts from you, hon?
I am hoping that over the next couple of weeks, as we get closer to Brittany releasing her book, we've been told that there's a lot of information in this book about her family history, and her finally sharing her side of the story and explaining it. And I think we're going to get a much better idea of Brittany's relationship with her family and why she feels the way that she does, just about everything that has happened. I think it's about time this stuff comes out, that we get to really hear from her as opposed to reported articles or people saying they have an inside scoop. It's time for her to say it on her own terms. And I hope that we all walk away with a better understanding of her perspective, because we've certainly heard the perspectives of Lynne through her book, as well as Jamie Lynn through hers.
Yep. And stay tuned, not only on this channel, Popcorn Planet, but over on It's Kim as well, because once that book comes out, we're going to be covering it like crazy. With that being
No
said,
sleep.
yeah, with that being... With that being said, as we're giggling through this now, if you appreciate this video and you want more, and of course there's gonna be more, wait for the woman in me to be released, guys. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, turn the notification bell to all, like this video and comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories and whatevers. Also as well, go one step further and join today. Become a Popcorn Planeteer for as little as $5.99 a month and you get exclusive content from the man himself, and it's Signore. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. Appreciate all your faces, and coming up on the screen right now are going to be some videos you'll want a clickety-click, clickety-click.